Derrick Henry came to Green Bay and said, put this game on my shoulders. His fourth touchdown of the game. Now their attention falls to the Pittsburgh Steelers game with the Cleveland Browns.
Well, I'll be watching and praying for sure.
Shador to throw, looking right. He's got faded. Touchdown!
The Steelers' hopes of winning the AFC North title here today have evaporated. They will now have to defeat the Ravens in Pittsburgh next weekend.
I have full confidence we'll go home and win next week.
All right, let's hope so, A-Rod. It is all set up. Winner go home game between the Steelers and the Ravens in Week 18. Winner will claim the AFC North. Loser will quite literally go home and be on the couch for the playoffs, okay? Baltimore, maybe without Lamar Jackson, though. He's set out this week with a back injury. Look who's here, David Dennis Jr. Good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you. Good to hang out.
I love it. We're going to hang out now and talk a little bit about this mess that has become the AFC North. Do we believe the Ravens will win the North with or without Lamar Jackson on the field?
Yeah, this Ravens are going to the playoffs. And it's for two reasons. Two people, one's playing, one's not. Derrick Henry, DK Metcalf. The Ravens finally unleashed Derrick Henry on the Packers. And the Steelers, I don't think, have an answer for him. They, have been better at the run game defensively over the last few weeks. But the last time these two teams played, the Ravens had more than 200 yards of rushing. I think they're going to continue that regardless of who their quarterback is. And then on the other side, the Steelers, that offense was desperately missing DK Metcalf. Aaron Rodgers was 8 for 21 on passes to wide receivers over the weekend. They stopped the Cleveland Browns from scoring in the last 50 minutes of that game and still cannot come up with the win. Those two players, one not being there, one being there, are going to be the reason the Ravens make it to the playoffs.
Well done. I agree. And if not, it's going to be unbelievably uncomfortable in Baltimore. If you can't beat this team without DK Metcalf and a run defense that's been bottom 5 in the NFL this year for the great majority of the season, what are we doing with the team that should have gone to the Super Bowl? I actually think that.
But even without their starting quarterback?
I don't care. Give the ball 30 times to Derrick Henry.
Okay.
This is an offense that, and throw the ball to your tight ends. You'll be okay. This is what I would say as well. If you go back to, I think they played 3 or 4 weeks ago. The two things that stood out in that game were, one, Aaron made like 3 or 4 throws down the sideline on go routes that were absolutely ridiculous. I think 3 of them went to DK Metcalf. Just perfectly thrown down the sideline. Actually, pretty good coverage. DK's not going to be there. They don't have the other person that can do that. Okay, so that was the thing that Pittsburgh did by far the best in that game. The other thing is, I believe that's the game that likely fumbles the ball going into the end zone and fumbles the ball in the end zone on that, he didn't make the necessary third move football while he's already in the end zone, and they call off that touchdown catch as a drop. That's how Pittsburgh wins that game. If you just watched that game, you felt Baltimore had outplayed Pittsburgh, but Pittsburgh made a couple more plays. The guy that made those plays will not be there. I think the DK point is huge. And then, Baltimore's the better football team. Baltimore should win the game. If they don't, we're having massive, massive questions about what's going on in Baltimore.
Cam, do you agree or disagree?
Listen, I'm agreeing. The Baltimore Ravens should win this football game, and I have a direct message to Todd Monken. Feed the king. There's a lot of running backs in this league, and there's not one running back that's more dominant than Derrick Henry. There are running backs that are probably better overall. There are probably running backs that are probably fearful in the open field. But there's not a running back that's in the National Football League that is playing football in Pop Warner, high school, or even college that puts the fear in defenders when he is running downhill. Todd Monken, you were reminded of that dominance versus the Green Bay Packers. Now, if you say, hey, what changes if Lamar Jackson is ready? Nothing changes. Todd Monken, you have Derrick Henry. He has shown you that if you give him and you stay committed to him, not just the first quarter, all throughout the whole game, he can give you the residual income, and that's a win. Do not shy away from it. Commit to it, no matter who your quarterback is, and you will be successful.
Okay.
The fact that the Pittsburgh Steelers is already deficient at the skill level brings even more questions without having a DK Metcalf.
I just, without Lamar Jackson, I just have a hard time thinking that the Steelers are just going to be an easy out, okay? I know Tyler Huntley is a very capable backup. Obviously, he's 2-0 so far this season. I just feel like this is such a competitive divisional rivalry. I just have a hard time thinking everyone's going to be like, okay, no DK Metcalf. Look like the Ravens are going to run away with that. I don't think that's going to be the case. But nonetheless, again, Week 18, win or go home. If the Steelers do find their way out, or even if they don't, do you think this is going to be the last game we see of Aaron Rodgers?
I do. I think this is it for Aaron Rodgers because, I mean, what is the return on Aaron Rodgers? The Steelers tried to hit a home run with Aaron Rodgers when there were other capable quarterbacks out there, believing that he could reach this ceiling that these other quarterbacks could not reach. We have not seen that ceiling from Aaron Rodgers. We have not seen the signature Aaron Rodgers games, especially without somebody like DK Metcalf. Quite frankly, he's a middling quarterback right now. And you can get, and there's no disrespect to him. Look at his age, and he has a legacy. He is bona fide, locked in, Hall of Fame dude, one of the greats of all time. But right now, he is a middling quarterback. And you can get middling quarterbacks around the league who you don't have to worry about a guy like him getting injured every time that he drops back and somebody hits him. Like, you can benefit from not having to worry about that. And that just puts Aaron Rodgers in a position where I don't see the benefit of having him come back to Pittsburgh when you can just move on.
I think Baltimore wins the game, so yes, I think it's his last game, and I think it should be his last game. And Aaron's been one of my favorite players to ever watch. And he's a first ballot, second Hall of Famer. The reason why is the numbers 23, 24, 26, 25, 27, and 29. That's the age of the AFC quarterbacks in the playoffs this year. Drake May's 23, C.J. Stroud's 24, Trevor Lawrence is 26, Bo Nix is 25, Justin Herbert's 27, and Josh Allen's 29. We got to get younger, Pittsburgh. It's time. I can appreciate that we've tried and whatnot. I go back to this saying the DK Metcalf injury is brutal, or suspension is brutal, because I do think that they would have won this game with DK Metcalf, and I do think they could have won a playoff game if DK Metcalf had been healthy. Without him, I just don't see it being the case. And now's the moment. Like, now's the you have a young quarterback stable in that conference right now, and that's not even talking about Joe or Lamar or Patrick. And so the youth at that position that we are going to see in the playoffs this year, you have to find your young star, not young player, star at that position.
Cam, hold on really quick. My only pushback, I know you named the AFC quarterbacks. Look at what Matthew Stafford's doing, and he's his age.
Matthew's 4 years younger, and Matthew's in a...
3, I think. Go ahead. Okay.
He's also in a place that has elite offensive coaching, elite offensive line play, a dynamic duo at wide receiver, and a run game that is dominant. And so Aaron's going to be 43 next season.
Yeah.
It's just time. Matthew's probably... I would say this. If Matthew wins MVP, and I think he will and should, and wins the Super Bowl, I could see Matthew being done playing. And so, like, yes, Matthew's, but those are a significant 3 years younger at least.
Okay. Cam?
So one of the things that you just said, Danny-O, and I'm going to requote that, elite receiver play. He has elite receivers. That's not Aaron Rodgers' situation. Aaron Rodgers hasn't had that since he's been in Green Bay. Yeah. The tandem that the Los Angeles Rams have now it takes the pressure off of a Matthew Stafford. Is Aaron Rodgers capable? Yes. Do I think Aaron Rodgers still wants to do the small things in this league? No. The small things, OTAs, the small things, minicamp, the small things, training camp, those type of things, he's kind of at a level where it's like, nah, bro, I don't really want to do that. But you still have to do that to be an effective quarterback, especially not because of your talent, it's because of the guys that are around you. Now, when you start to also factor in, is he good enough? He is good enough. He's shown flashes that he's capable of still throwing the ball at an elite level. But I don't think he can carry a team like he once did. And it's unfortunate that I do believe that this will be Aaron Rodgers' last go at it, because of the ask and the toll given the circumstances for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
All right, so I think we're all in agreement. Even let's say they do beat the Ravens, maybe they have one playoff game left in them. We're going to only see a game or two maybe of Aaron Rodgers here in his career. We're all in agreement.
And there's a poetry here and sort of an irony to all this, in that he may end his career and get replaced again by a backup Green Bay Packers quarterback, because that's the person I think that the Steelers should be first in line to try to get.
Right. Malik.
Yeah.
Yeah.